Hello, and welcome to day one of the 5-day challenge. I'm so excited to be here with you because I know how powerful a challenge can be. You know, sometimes we just need to stop, wait a minute, and reset, have a bit of a change of mindset, a bit of a looking around at what we're doing, what's working, what's not working, taking stock, resetting. Absolutely love that word. Looking around and going, okay, where am I now? Where do I want to be? And what needs to happen to get there? Because so often we're just going, and we don't stop and think about it. So that's what this 5 days is going to really be about. Looking at the simple little things that you can do, those tiny changes. You might find you might get one little change that you do out of this whole 5 days, and that's it. And that one little change can be the game changer. And I know this because this is what happened to me 10 years ago when I was at total rock bottom. I had postnatal depression, I had a baby, I had a toddler, and I felt so utterly stuck and overwhelmed and felt like there was no way I could get out of this incredibly dark, exhausted, horrible place I was in. But when I started doing these little workouts at my kitchen bench, as crazy as it is to think back now, that little moment that I took every single day really was my game-changing moment, because it wasn't the only thing I did, but it was the first thing I did to help me. And then because I did it again and again, I started to feel a little bit better. So then I started to feel less ashamed. So I talked to friends and I went and got more professional help, and there it goes. And then I was more present with my kids, and then they were responding better to me. And it's like this snowball effect of what happens when you make these tiny little changes. I have had the most amazing emails from you, so thank you very much. I printed out just a few of them here, finding out what it is that is getting in your way of getting your body moving, of giving back to yourself, of making you a priority. And there's some ones that are quite unique. There's some other ones that I'm seeing over and over again, but really, just so you know, you are not alone in finding all of this exercise being hard to get and into your day and to make part of your week and your life. So I wanted to read you just a couple of little ones here from a few people, a few different excuses or obstacles, whatever you want to call them. I'm hearing children come up a lot. I totally get that. Can be really hard for lots of different reasons. Maybe they're on you all the time. I remember when my girls were little, I felt like they were eating me alive. I didn't even have a moment to myself. Sometimes it's a case of when you're not with your kids, you're at work. So when you're not at work, you feel too guilty to not be with your kids and make them a priority. Fitting it in, self-care, always the first thing to go. That is so very, very true. Amber writes, yeah, she wants, there's definitely a tie between lack of motivation and little time during the week where I can be away from my babies to do something for me. That's a big one there. Lou writes about how other matters always take priority. Isn't that so true? We just think, oh, we'll just do this first, we'll just do this first. And we put ourselves on the bottom of the list. Trish writes that she has been lost since she had her first child 13 years ago, and it's time to get me back. Isn't that so true? Do you know that feeling of that? Feel like you've lost yourself? You're just going and giving to so many people, and you're just like, oh, who am I again? What does it feel like to be connected to me and give back to me? And what else have we got here? Shaz writes, yeah, the biggest obstacle would be remembering to move during a busy work day and not drinking enough water. Yeah, that's a big one. A really good tip for not enough water is get yourself a big water bottle and have it with you at all times. A water bottle is so the key. This is a beautiful message from Lisa. I'll just read you a little bit of this. My exercise excuse is a bit of fear as well as exercise. A few years ago, I suffered depression, and while I'm now much better, it's something that hovers at the corners, threatening to come back if I'm not vigilant against it. Oh my, I know this so much. One of the main issues I have is that when I let myself get tired, I find I don't have the reserves I need to maintain my status quo and feel myself slipping backwards. I would like to exercise more, but worry if I do it as regularly as I would like and need, that I will deplete my energy stores for the other work I have to do and my family, which I love dearly. Very, very true. I worry also that I will then become a cranky mum if she doesn't move enough. It's hard enough to feel like you're doing a good job when you work full time, and then some after hours, and the time you have with your children is so short in the scheme of things that the last thing I want for them to suffer from my tiredness or depression. She also writes, I've never taken the time to actually think this through and identify what is holding me back. Now that I am, I'm hoping that if I can start with your 2-minute moves, it will spur me on to move more. So that is our little mission for today, is to take this moment, even 2 minutes, to work out what it is that is holding you back. If you haven't already sat down or just wrote out, what is it exactly that is holding you back? And what I'm wanting to do throughout this challenge is to, I guess, bust through those excuses, that mindset, because if you write down what is holding you back is time, as many of you have written that down. There's too much to do. That's a big one. The weather, I've also got here. It's just too cold. I mean, it is absolutely freezing. Putting myself at the end of the list. And yes, I've just said some beautiful, lots of mental health ones as well in there. So, okay, so time, weather, all those kind of things. I want you to write down everything that's getting in your way, and then you want to have a look at it. Time is getting in your way. Okay, here is your big mindset shift for the challenge. How much time do you need to exercise? If I had $1 for every time someone said to me when I'm walking down the street where I live in the northern beaches, and people look at me like I'm the exercise police and going, oh gosh, I just want to exercise, but I don't have the time. I had $1 for every time I heard that. I would have a lot of dollar coins in my jar, that's for sure. So this is the idea, to break through this mindset, first of all, of time. How much time do you actually need? We have been sold this story that exercise has to look this way, right? It has to be this hour at this gym class for a certain amount of intensity. You've got to burn this certain amount of calories for it to be worthwhile. You have to use this equipment. You have to sweat this certain amount. Blah, blah, blah. All these rules around what exercise has to be. It has to make our bodies look this certain way. It has to give us these certain results. Oh my God, that could all feel way, way too hard in these busy, full lives that we are leading. So I want you to start to break down these rules that you have around what exercise has to be. Exercise does not have to be this hour, this half hour. Brilliant if it is, but so many of the times that actually stops us from doing anything at all. I don't know about you, but I have got this all or nothing thing. I know I'm not alone. I've spoken to so many people with the same thing. If it can't be all, if we can't do what exercise has to be, then instead of doing something, we just do nothing. And we wait until we can have this exercise perfect little thing that we can do. I want you to start breaking down those rules, breaking down that exercise, what it has to be. There's a really great quote from Alan Cohen. It's, do not wait for the conditions to be perfect to begin. Beginning makes the conditions perfect. And that is so true when it comes to exercise. We didn't, in the olden days, have to go to the gym or do this extra exercise class or anything like that, because we moved our bodies so much more, and they are designed to move so they can function in the way they're supposed to function with our metabolism and our heart, and also to make us feel the way that we want to feel. Movement makes us feel good. You know it, so let's try and bust through this excuse that's stopping you from doing it. So that's what your task. Look at that excuse and see if you can break down what is it exactly that you have in your head of what exercise has to look like, and instead, can we switch it up to making little moments in your day that you can get moving. So that's what the challenge is going to be about, is all these little moments. But there's another big thing that I hear that gets in your way in so many other ways, and that is motivation, your energy, okay? Oh man, sometimes it can feel so hard to exercise or to do something for you. And it's usually in the times that it feels the hardest is the times that we need it the most. I mean, take things like depression and anxiety, for example. One of the best things that we can do when we are feeling quite dark and in a low state, feeling anxious, overwhelmed, is move our bodies. The research is there backing that up. It's a wonderful thing to do, as well, of course, of many other treatment options. Exercise is one part of that pie, right? But it's a part that's just there available to us right then and there. It's free. You just can move your body. And I say just move your body. And it's a ridiculous thing to say because in those times it can feel like the hardest thing in the world. I know because I have been there. So here's how I view motivation, and I've had a mindset shift around this years ago, and it's really helped me. The times that I feel like I do not want to do it and I cannot get the motivation, I know are the times that I need to do it the most. So I say to myself, okay, this is the time you need to do it the most. I know that action is the thing that precedes motivation. There's no point waiting for motivation because so often it's not going to come, especially at those times where you're so tired out and just can't find it in you to do it. So know that, motivation isn't going to happen until you take that little action. So it's the idea of taking one small little step to help you with the motivation. So that's your kind of little small steps, your little picture of it. So now let's go out to the big picture of it. And that is, okay, so why do that step to get to that action, that motivation, to the next one, to the next one? Why is it that you are wanting to do this? And finding your why, you may have heard it before, is such an essential part in keeping going and making this exercise thing and this self-care, this taking care of yourself, a sustainable part of your life. So your why, for example, my why, I will, even if it's the last thing I feel like doing, I'm so tired, I can't be bothered, I know that exercise and getting my body moving makes me feel so much better. It really, really is my coping tool. I know that if I don't do it, I can feel myself going into a bit of a downward spiral, be it energy, be it mood, be it that black dog nipping at my heels. And so that is my why, because I don't want to be feeling that dark. I don't want to be not able to communicate with my daughters properly. I don't want to sort of feel myself shying away from everything and getting really flat. So I know I need exercise for that, and it is the thing that just reminds me every time to get moving my body. If I'm ever out and people see me exercising or running, they'll often say, "Oh, you're so good to exercise." I say it's really not about being good. For me, it is really about how it makes me feel. So task number 2 is to have a think and to write down in the comments, even if you can, on YouTube or the Facebook Live here, or just message me or just write it down yourself, is to write down what is your why. And if you're wanting to, for example, lose weight, why? I want you to get a little bit deeper. If you want to feel good, why? Why do you want to feel good? What do you want to do with that? For me, it is also not only with how I am with my kids and everyone around me that I love, but it's also what I can do in the world with my work, how I can be here with you. And this is very, very important to me. I want to make a difference. I want to have an impact. I want to be able to serve people because I believe that is what life is about. So that's a big, deeper little look into my why. So I'd love to hear from you. get a bit deeper, unless you've already got back to me about it, about what it is that is getting in your way. Have a look through, yeah? If it's time, well, is it really time or is it more mindset? Is it your exercise beliefs? Is it your exercise rules? And then 2, your why. Why is it and that you're wanting to give back to yourself, to exercise, to self-care, to eat better, all those things. Dig down. Why is that? Woohoo! There you go. So that is such a good thing to take a moment to do. And I've been talking for a while, but this doesn't need to take you very long to do. Really, right for 2 minutes. Okay, so that's what you're going to do today or tonight. Then you've also got your moves to do. So they are your arms, I'm pointing to my tummy, your arms, your tummy, your thighs, and your glutes. So do those moves today. I'm going to have some bonus moves coming for you for the rest of the week. Think about your mindset. So it's mindset day today, and have a moment before you go to bed tonight to take a few deep breaths. And that why that you've written down, have a read of it or have a think about it, and spend 2 minutes breathing and almost like it's seeping into your body. Feel it go in there. Feel yourself believe it and know it. And find that determination and that grit inside of yourself that is really going to help you to stick to this 5 days, to really have a think, have a reset, get some routines, get some rituals, and that's it. So nice to be here with you. Make sure to leave all your comments if you can, because that really helps other people who are doing this challenge with you to see what it is that you're thinking. It sort of can spark ideas, help people to feel they're not alone. I'll keep sharing all these wonderful messages and emails that I've had from you. Any questions of anything, let me know. I'll go now, and definitely let me know how you go with your moves, and if you are doing them, if you're not doing them, tell me that too. Let me know. I'm not doing them because of this, and I will do my best to help you. If you get to the end of your night today and you haven't done end of the day today and you haven't done any of your moves, you know what? Why don't you just choose one of them to do? On the end of the bed, do your squats. At the end of the bed even, do your push-ups. Lying back onto your bed, do your tummy ones. Even the end of the day is totally fine to do them. There is absolutely no rules. The idea is that something is so much better than nothing, and to bring you out of that all or nothing mindset. I could be here all day talking to you, but I guess I better go now. You've probably got things to do, like your 2-minute moves. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.